Welcome to 3 Talk, your afternoon talk show. I'm your host, Nolene Maolwana-Sanyu. Tonight we're discussing a unique healing technique called universal energy healing. It's described as an amazing and extremely effective process to enhance physical and emotional healing and a preventative tool promoting good health. Tonight we'll hear first-hand accounts of how this has enhanced people's lives. For any questions and comments, call me on 086 2233 or you can SMS 083 601 9932. Please welcome Sabine Thomas, Universal Energy Healing Technique teacher, Dr. Sailesh Raghu, an orthopedic surgeon who uses this in his medical work, and Kashmira Makin, a dental surgeon. Thank you so much for coming in. For someone who is an uninitiated like me, it's very confusing just to even think about universal energy, because you think, what is universal energy and how can universal energy help me? If I'm sick, I go to doctor.
You know, universal energy is a very simple, easy to use and easy to learn healing technique that promotes better health and well-being. That's to summarize what universal energy is.
Okay. Now, for a doctor, what does universal energy mean?
No, for me, I use it as an adjunct to my medical practice.
Right.
And it reinforces what I do in terms of insight into patients' illness, improving patients' healing capabilities. By trade, I'm a surgeon. So I use the technique to minimize bleeding during operations, to improve healing after the operations. And even in the office during consultations, if I feel that the patient needs energy, I sort of discuss it with them and then transfer energy to them.
But as a medical doctor, did you not come into some criticism from your colleagues who are saying, but, you know, we are scientists and we use, you know, a scalpel, we use medication, you know, this is all hocus pocus.
Yes. No, just the point there, you know, the Hollanders believe that medicine is not a science but an art. And I think that's what it is, you know. And I think medicine, the way it's developing now, needs the complementary sciences, I have to say, to help bolster it. And I think we're all humans and there's answers everywhere in this universe for us. And that's what we have to try and tap all the resources that we have to try and help our patients and enable them to heal. You know?
And how did you come into contact with universal energy?
I was on holiday at one of the health hydros in KZN, and I was having severe migraine. And one of the ladies by the name of Ingrid, who's a UE practitioner, offered to give me energy. And she did, and the treatment took about 5 minutes. And I went for a hike, and I forgot about the headache. And it was amazing. And
so what did she physically do?
She transmitted energy using her fingers, transmitting energy from the universe into my body.
Right.
And healing takes place at a cellular level. And I felt relief within a short period of time. And that was very amazing to me, because I was very skeptical about all this kind of thing. And it really helped me.
It worked, and that was your introduction to it. So how does it work? So someone comes to you and says, I've got a sore toe. My toe is very sore. What do you do then?
I use my hands. So it's very easy. I've learned how to channel energy and how to bring energy where the painful is. If you've got a problem on your feet, I will just use my hands and send energy with my hands. And the duration of this transfer of energy are between 2 minutes and 5 minutes per person per day. It's quite quick. It's very quick.
Now, what do you as a person have to, what kind of person do you have to be in order to transfer energy to another person? Is there something that you've got to be, or can it be anybody?
You know, I really think that there's a misconception about the fact that you need to be gifted in order to transfer energy. Really here what we're busy learning, in fact, because it's a technique that we're talking about, once somebody is learning the technique, anybody can use the technique. You just need to be 14 years old, you need to be motivated, you need to come with a clear and open mind, and you need to do it every day. You need to have the discipline also to do it every day, 2 minutes, and then you will just see the result, and the result normally should show very quickly.
And how did you come into contact with Universal Energy?
I mean, that was more than 10 years ago. I was working in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, the capital of Burkina Faso, and I got very, very sick, and they didn't know what I had, and they flew me back to Paris, and I was in the Tropical Institute in Paris, where the doctors were looking at me behind the window. Nobody would come in my room because I had what we call an unknown virus. And because I was dying, because I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk, I was really, really, very sick, I said, okay, I would prefer to die next to my mother's place. Then I signed all the papers at the hospital, and I arrived they took me with the ambulance to my mother's place. And when I arrived at my mother said, you know, this neighbor, I don't know what he's doing, but I heard he's using this healing technique. And I said, please bring him to me. And when he came to see me, I couldn't move, I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk almost, I was really dying. He came one day for 2 minutes, he came the second day 2 more minutes, and then he came for a whole week, and after a week I could eat again. And after 2 weeks I could walk again, and after 1 month I was 99% all right. Then really I said, what are you doing? I really want to know more. And he said, I've just learned this healing technique, and I mean, anybody can use it. And that's how I went to learn what we call the basic level, and I went to learn it, and I'm really enjoying it.
Now you're a qualified teacher, Universal Healing
Technique. Yeah, no, after that it took me 10 years to qualify as a teacher, you know. But at this time, 10 years ago, I just went for 2 days of course in order for me to learn how to use it, how to channel the energy, how to bring it where it is painful. Right. And after the 2 days, I was able to use it for myself, and therefore help myself and help my families for headaches or any physical or emotional problems.
So it's emotional and physical?
Yes, it can be emotional and physical, yes.
All right, we'll talk about the emotional now. Let's go to Makungwe in Soweto. Makungwe, hello. Makungwe?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Could you lower the volume on your television set?
Yes.
Makungwe?
Hello, Charlene. How are you?
I'm fine, my angel. Is your television set down?
Yes.
Good. What's your question?
No, I don't have a question. Mine is just to tell you about universal energy.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, since I've learned a lot from this course, and it has worked a lot for me.
Are you on the same course with Sabine?
Yes.
Why did you get involved, Makungwe?
Okay, my boss introduced me to this course. Yeah, because I was a little bit down. Sometimes I was sick, and then she said, honey, I think you must come with me to the course.
Right.
Then I went there with her, and then I was taught a lot of things. Yeah, you know, as a mother, and having a daughter who's sometimes sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the course was very helpful for me.
All right. Thank you very much, Makungwe, for your call, Makungwe in Soweto. Have you used Universal Energy Healing in your life? Call me on 086 2233 303 or SMS 083 601 9932. After the break, how Universal Energy Healing has changed the life of one of South Africa's top businesswomen. This is 3 Talk, and we're discussing Universal Energy Healing Technique. As a dentist, how do you practice it, Universal Energy Healing Technique?
I have occasions where I'm doing a surgical procedure, and if there's excessive bleeding, there's a technique that I use which stops the bleeding immediately.
So hold on. So you'd be doing a surgery and there's a lot of bleeding, and you would just perform this transfer of energy, and then the bleeding just stops.
It stops. It's amazing.
You see, as a skeptic, you know, it's almost very difficult to understand how it works, because, you know, what would you say to a skeptic?
You know, I was myself skeptical. Then I was also, I mean, I couldn't believe in it, but until I experienced it myself, then it made me ask myself some question. How does it work? Why does it work? And that's why I went to know a bit more. But I was skeptical, like everybody can be skeptical. I mean, when you hear stories about stopping bleeding, I mean, it's normal to be skeptical. You know, I think we need to open a bit our mind and just to ask ourselves some questions.
Yeah. What kind of questions should I be? Let me ask you, Doctor. What kind of questions should I be asking myself in order to start believing?
Well, I think, Nolan, what we need to say that, is there any harm being done? Are you causing harm to the patient, to the person or the patient that you're giving energy to.
Yeah.
And I think the intent of the healer is clear. We're not asking any money. We don't want to be rewarded in any way.
Yeah.
All we want to do is transfer this energy,
Right.
act as a channel to correct an imbalance in somebody's system. What I want to make clear is that we're using it as an adjunct. We're not saying it's replacing medicine or replacing magnetic therapy, or this therapy is not good or that.
Yeah.
It's just used as an adjunct.
But is that just for you as a doctor? Would you use it separately, or would you use it in conjunction with the medical treatment?
You know, it will always help a medical treatments. Always. Universal energy transfer will always help a medical treatment, and that's very important to understand.
It increases the efficacy of allopathic medication. It helps to bring about quicker healing, because this
But
energy...
it's not either or.
No.
Okay, that we've clarified. Well-known South African businesswoman and Gauteng First Lady Wendy Luhabe popped into studio last week to share her experience of universal energy healing. This is what she had to say. Wendy, welcome to 3 Talk. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, universal energy, when we were talking about this, I thought, I mean, what is universal energy, and how do you actually begin explaining what it is?
Very simple. If you believe that we do have the power to heal ourselves, that's a good starting point. And I interpret, or I explain universal energy as a proactive way for us to self-heal, to heal ourselves. And why I love it is that it gives us the tools to practice self-healing on a daily basis in a proactive manner, so that our well-being can become resilient and balanced. And all it requires are very simple exercises that are very quick. I mean, at the level that I'm in, which is an intermediary level, I can do a treatment for myself on a daily basis in 30 seconds. And that will strengthen my nervous system. I can do the same treatment for a list of people that are compiled, which consists of friends and family members. And I send them a treatment, what is called a collective treatment, on a daily basis to make sure that I look after their well-being on a daily basis. They don't even know that I'm doing it.
Now, when you said you're at the intermediary level, does that mean that you're studying universal?
Well, yes, I am. I actually attended a course which is conducted by Sabina Thomas, and I started at a basic level. I've been practicing it now since last October. And I'm now at an intermediary level, which means that my exercises are much quicker. When I started, they were much longer. They're now down to 30 seconds. And as you advance in your training, your treatments can be in a split second.
But how did you get involved, and why did you get involved?
I've known Sabina for a long time, and I was really interested in it because of what I started with, that I believe that human beings have the power to heal themselves. They just don't know how to do it. So what attracted me to universal energy was that it provides the tools for people to learn how to do that, and anybody can do it. You don't have to have a medical degree to learn how to do it. The exercises are very simple.
But then a lot of medical doctors, scientific people would say, no, you can't. I mean, if you are ill, let's take an example. You've got a little sore on your head.
I fell a week ago and hurt myself, and within a split second, I was able to stop the bleeding by sending universal energy into the wound. And I haven't had a pain. The wound itself, the injury is quite bad. And by all accounts, I should have been in a lot of pain, but I actually haven't.
So what did you do?
I just basically sent universal energy to the wound.
Like how? I mean, are you able to share it?
Yes, I can. I can explain it. I use this part of my body, which draws from the universal energy. If you believe that energy is everywhere, we use this part of the brain to draw it into us, and we use this part of the body to transmit it to whatever part of the body that it requires. You can also help people by using this part of the body to read their pulse, and from reading their pulse you can actually tell which part of their body needs energy. So all it really is it enables us to maintain resilient well-being, as I was saying, by its ability to detect which part of your body requires energy and sending and transmitting that energy, which is not my energy. I just simply use myself as a channel to receive the energy and transmit it to whatever part of your body requires it. So it's a wonderful tool.
What other examples? I mean, have you been, let's say, really ill where you needed to use it?
I had a friend who almost died from a gallbladder infection. And because I'm not at an advanced level yet, I didn't feel confident enough to send him healing. So I asked Sabine to send him healing. And the doctors were quite amazed at his recovery. I mean, within about 2 weeks of an emergency operation, which if he didn't have, would have killed him, they just couldn't believe the remarkable recovery that he made. And I'm quite convinced that it was assisted, it was supported by the universal energy that Sabina was sending him on a daily basis.
Can you use universal energy in business to enhance your business, for example?
Absolutely. When I make presentations to large numbers of people, I can sit with you now and I've already sent you universal energy.
Have you?
And when I address it happens so quickly. And when I address large numbers of people, before I interact with people, I send them healing energy, because it's a healing. It's really almost like you're giving people a blessing for them to be well, for them to access the gift of well-being that is so abundant. We just don't know how to tap into it.
Is there one word that one could use? Let's say someone is not au fait with universal energy. Is there one word that one could use if one wants to send that abundant universal energy to another person?
It's self-healing. It's just, I guess, as an expression that would probably explain it is namaste. I don't know if you're familiar with namaste. Namaste says it's an Indian or an Asian way of honoring people, and what it really means is that I honor the unique being that you are, and the power that you hold as a person. And really, universal energy is honoring that, and honoring the unique power and the unique gift that we each have to take responsibility for our lives, to maintain a resilient balance in all areas of our lives. I mean, this just happens to focus on people's well-being. You know, I think we need to maintain balance in our financial matters. We need to maintain balance in our spiritual matters, in a whole range of areas. This focuses on people's well-being. You know, why I'm really attracted to this, Nolene, is that if we can cultivate a nation of people who can prevent disease, instead of being preoccupied with curing disease, we would have people who are, I guess...
healthier.
Yeah, who are healthier. I mean, I was trying to think of a different way of explaining it, but healthier. I mean, if people are healthy, their minds function, they can contribute more, they can be more effective in their lives. I don't think we realize how being ill has an impact on our ability to be effective as human beings.
Well, Wendy, it sounds awesome. Thank you very much for joining us on 3 Talk this afternoon. Really nice talking to you. All right, let's just explain again what universal energy is and how it works.
You know, with the discoveries of modern physics, we are now realizing that the universe is made out, is a huge energy field. And all the scientists, they realize that we are not made out of matter, but we are made out of an essence or a force that is called energy. I mean, if I have to look in my arm with a microscope, I will see molecules, but I will see atoms, and atoms is a pure energy. I mean, this table is vibrating very slowly, but my body the energy is vibrating faster. And universal energy is also part of this energy field, but it is the most subtle and the lighter form of energy.
When you say you use this on your patients, do you tell your patients that I've sent you universal energy to quicken your healing process?
I think, Nolene, in the clinical setting, we've got different scenarios. There are some patients that might come in critically ill in a motor vehicle accident or injury on duty, and you cannot communicate with the patient, and he's in a critical state. And in those conditions, because my intent is clear that I want to try and heal this or try and improve the patient's condition, I will transfer energy to the patient at that stage. In the more routine consultations with patients, the patients have chronic diseases, they cannot get better, chronic ailments. Then I discuss the option with them. And many patients, because they're suffering for such long duration of time, they are quite open to accept it. And also what is attractive is that I'm not telling him, look, you need to change your religion, or you need to pay me extra, or you have to change your belief system. So, there's nothing like that. It's just that my intent is to try and improve that the symptoms that they're improving with.
Now, you're married, you're a couple. How has universal energy technique helped your marriage? Has it?
It has. It has. As far as communication is concerned, we have a better communication now. Our understanding and respect for each other is much greater. And also it has helped us to make major decisions in our lives. We had to relocate from Durban, didn't know what to do, but with this, it sort of directed us to a certain extent. And also it helped us to handle certain difficulties in our life. We cannot have a child. And it was very difficult for me to accept this. But once I did universal energy, I find it much easier to accept it. And it has made me a much stronger person.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this with us today. And thank you as well. We appreciate it. Lines are open. I'd like to hear from you on 086 2233 303 or SMS 083 601 9932. After the break, a well-known Springbok rugby player and international model join me to discuss universal energy healing. Universal energy healing technique is helping millions of people all over the world. Please welcome former Springbok and Cheetahs player Ollie Leroux and registered nurse Daniela Chrysostom. Oh, I got that very wrong. My apologies.
It took me time to get used to it too.
Your daughter, how did the technique help
Actually,
her?
that's the way I got to universal energy to my daughter. I embarked on a quest for her health. I went physically and on internet around the world.
What was wrong with your daughter?
Okay, she was born with a muscle disorder that we still don't have a final diagnosis for it. And she had a muscle biopsy, and she had really lots of investigations all over the world done. And everybody was telling me she's a floppy child. I really don't have at this moment a final diagnosis from anywhere in the world. And last year, after she had a terrible bout of pneumonia, because of her muscle disorder, she had developed scoliosis, and obviously she's more susceptible to chest infections. So she had this pneumonia, and she was really very sick. I took her out of the hospital. I was at home, and I was just searching the internet, and I found this universal energy that sounded so good in Australia. So I was ready to go, and the next thing I found Sabine's telephone number, and I phoned her. And I said, can you have a look at my daughter? I'm very skeptical, but, when nothing helps, I'm that I was praying, you're prepared to try anything. And I think that was the best thing that I took her to Sabine, and I was introduced to this universal energy technique. It was the best thing I ever did.
And Ollie, how did you get involved in universal energy technique?
I got diagnosed in 2000 with a growth in my neck, and the guys reckoned it was my career and they had to operate. Luckily, a friend of mine that's a medical doctor told me about the technique, and I phoned her up and said, listen,
You phoned Sabine?
No, I phoned a friend of mine and said, listen, can somebody help me? And she gave me a lady's name, and they started the treatment, and I'm in 2005 still playing and getting stronger every day. And what I found, I was very curious, and I went and I wanted to learn the technique myself. And every time I've broken my ankle, they said 7 months or 6 months, I'll be back after 4. I've torn my calf, I've torn my hamstring. They reckon 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm back after 2, 1. My healing has just sped up so much. And being 32 years old, you go out on the field, you're playing against guys, they're much younger than you, they recover quicker. And I'm just keeping up with them every time, because it takes a lot of physical energy out of your body, and I managed to replace that.
It sounds almost unbelievable, this universal energy healing technique. Supermodel Petra Nemkova made international headlines after her life changed because of tsunami 2005. And she's on the line. Hello, Petra.
Hello, Nolene. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. And thank you very much for joining us all the way from New York. Now, tell us about universal energy and how it has helped you.
Well, it has helped me in a tremendous way through actually many years of my life already. But the most recent experience in December, through the tsunami, was very hard and very painful. But universal energy made it, it made such a difference. When the tsunami hit, I concentrated on sending energy to people and the area and myself, and it helped me to stay very focused. And even through the most painful and difficult moments where I was swallowing the black water, and I thought that those moments are the last of my life, I remained very focused and calm, and it had helped me in an amazing way to give me the possibility to heal very fast, emotionally and physically. I had some injuries. I had a broken pelvis in 4 different places, and some people, they heal from the same injuries in 2 years. And for me, it took me only 3 months. And people, doctors cannot believe how fast I have healed.
And you also lost your boyfriend.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, I did.
Now, Petra, when you said that you healed in 3 months and it takes other people 2 years to heal, what exactly did you have to do in order to get yourself through the healing process?
Well, that's the beauty of universal energy healing. It's a very simple technique, which doesn't take a lot of time, and it makes a huge difference. It's just through sending energy to yourself and connecting to the source. Then you can use this energy, this powerful energy, to help yourself. But it doesn't take hours, or it's very simple, and that's why. And it's accessible for everyone. You don't have to have a special powers, or you don't have to be special. Any person around the whole world can learn it, and that's the beautiful thing.
Petra, thank you very much for taking time and speaking to us. That's Petra, supermodel in New York. Now, we've got a lot of callers from people asking the question, is universal energy not from God? Because He's given us the power to heal ourselves. So is it not a godly thing?
It's very important to know that universal energy is not linked to any religion, for example, because it's fantastic to see people that are Christian, Muslims or Buddhists coming to the course. I mean, all of them are coming for the same purpose. That means helping themselves and perhaps helping the others. Then, I mean, that's why there's some people who don't believe in God at all, and some people who do believe in God who are coming to the course. But I will not say that this energy comes from God. It's universal energy. It's we're learning to tap into the energy that is all around us, and it's not linked to one religion. It's really in order for us to help ourselves first, to feel better, and to become a better human being also.
All right, more on universal energy healing when we return. Welcome back to 3 Talk. We're live and discussing a healing enhancement therapy using universal energy. During the break, Ali, you were talking about how this works for you, and you used the word freaky.
Yeah, it's in a sense, it's just amazing, because you're going out there, and I'm very aware of my body because of all the training and stuff that you do, and you can actually just feel the difference, and it just enhances your life in so many ways, and it just gives you more energy. And when you're training and you just feel like you can't go anymore, you can actually use the energy and just lift you up, and suddenly you're just going again. It's like
just very quickly. So if you're pumping iron and you're really sweating and it's hard, so what would you do? What would you say in order to lift yourself up?
I basically just send energy to myself where I feel I need it. It might be my chest, my lungs, my heart. So and the next minute it would just be like everything's just stronger again and ready to go. The fatigue factor just energizes your whole body. The fatigue factor just goes out the door and you're ready to go. You just got like a double Red Bull that you can swallow, but just by using universal energy.
You're a good advert. Funny in Johannesburg. Hello.
Hi, good day, Annalene.
Hello.
Annalene, thanks for taking my call. I did the Universal Energy healing course with Sabine in February this year. Shortly after, I met a lady by the name of Rochelle and her dog, Pooksy. Now, the dog is a small Maltese poodle, 10 years old, and had a huge tumor on his backside. Vet said that Pooksy had a 20% chance of surviving operation to remove the tumor. I might also mention that Pooksy also had a weak heart. I started doing universal energy healing to Pooksy on a regular basis, and at the same time, vets were also working on a serum to treat the tumor. In July this year, vets from the Barkenkop Animal Clinic in Pretoria successfully removed the tumor. At the time of the operation, Puxi weighed 5 kilograms, and the tumor that was removed was half a kilogram. Puxi had recovered completely after the operation and is now known as the miracle dog by the vets.
Well, that's fantastic. So it's the universal energy healing that helped Puppy.
Well, I believe that the universal energy also had a huge part in healing Puxi. Also, there was wonderful vets working with her, and the operation was a very daring operation. But I believe that universal healing helped Puxi to recover quickly and to survive the operation as well.
Okay, Fani, you know what? For calling in, I'm sending you to the Avis International Ladies Polo happening this Sunday, the 25th of September at Inanda in Johannesburg. You've won 2 tickets to the Veuve Clicquot Champagne and Oyster Bar at the Polo with an Avis point-to-point pickup and a bottle of champagne. Congratulations.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Nelly.
Thank you very much, Fani. Remember, the Avis International Ladies Polo this Sunday at Inanda Club. Tickets are available at the gates on the day. What other kinds of healing can you do? Is it everything? You mentioned bleeding, energy, your daughter. What else? I mean, let's look at...
I'll say about the wound care, if you don't mind. I'm a wound care specialist. And I'm treating wounds. If I'm saying wounds, I'm talking patients that had wounds for 25 years. The oldest ulcer that I had, it was 60 years old. 60 years old ulcer. That, okay, I'm using advanced wound care healing methods, the top products on the market. But I found that the healing, the universal energy, had helped me tremendously in my work. These ulcers, they are healing at a rate that scientifically cannot actually be proven.
How do you get into the courses very quickly?
Okay, it's very simple. The best way is to go into the website and get all the information about the next date.